Greetings, royal family. It's that time again. It's Queen Sugar time. Did you miss me? Okay, I'm ready. I am ready. There is a lot to unpack in this episode. Woo! This was deep. Some things were revealed. Some things were revealed. Okay, so let's get straight into it, y'all. I missed y'all. I really did. So here we go. I had to take some detailed notes for you guys. Okay. You ready? Here we go. All right. So the episode opens up with Charley in a bar. As you know, her mill burned down. She knows that Francis is behind it. She had to give Francis a good old cussing out on the last episode, and she held her own. So Charley is still just trying to pick up the pieces of everything that's going on. You know, she's at the bar. She's telling the bartender, you know, she got man problems. She got kid problems, you know, plus she's running for office. And the bartender asked her, like, in St. Louis, and she says no, you know, and he says, well, you're running for office, and you do realize that as it gets busier in this bar, people are going to recognize you. Well, Charley puts on her sunglasses and basically tells the bartender another round, sir. And she's just going through, and she's trying to drown out the pain, which some people do that. You know what I mean? They either shut themselves off, they drink. It's just like she's fighting and fighting one battle after another, and it is really refreshing to see Charley have a vulnerable moment, I guess, right? Like, she doesn't have everything all put together. Like this, she can't figure out. She can't hire a publicist. She can't pay off this one to make this go away. These things that she's dealing with, she really has to continue to fight her way through. And do I think that she's capable of doing so? Of course. Charley Bordelon has proved herself time and time again to be a warrior, to be triumphant. And it was good to see her have this moment where she's in a bar and, you know, she's just like not answering any phone calls, and she's just drinking. And the reason why I say this was good to see is because I don't know about y'all, but I am anticipating her comeback. Like, when I seen her drowning herself in liquor or drinking in the bar, I was just like, oh, you know, of course you feel for her. You're like, dang, Charley, you know, you're going through a lot. But I couldn't help but to think, woo-wee, her comeback is gonna be serious. Like, I'm ready for that. Like, I am ready to see Charley, like, just come out swinging, and I feel that she is. So, you know, that was an interesting scene, interesting moment as far as her character is concerned. So we see Miss Nova Bordelon meet up with her cousin Miss Martha. Now, remember, when Nova was on her book tour, she had a sit-down interview with a gentleman who revealed to her that she has a living family member on her mother's side, which is her mother's first cousin. So that would make her Nova's second cousin, Miss Martha. So she goes to visit Miss Martha, and Miss Martha's happy to see her, and she says she remembers Nova used to run all over the yard, and, you know, Nova had no recollection of ever being at Miss Martha's house. One, she had no idea that she used to hang out at Miss Martha's house too. So Miss Martha embraces her. She tells her, oh my God, you look just like your mama. You know what I'm saying? You are definitely Trudy's child. And it was so beautiful to see a blood relative, a family member, finally embracing Nova, because Nova has been going through it. My glasses are really doing tricks. Nova has been going through. She, you know, her family has basically ostracized her. They don't want her around. She can't come to Aunt Vi's house. She can't come. Charley's not answering the phone. Ralph Angel wants nothing to do with her. Ralph Angel's not answering the phone. You know, she even cried to Calvin previously that, you know, she feels like she lost her family. So this was a good time for her to go visit Miss Martha, and the trip was definitely worth it. Some things were revealed, but it was beautiful to see how she just embraced her. And I'm pretty sure Miss Martha has no idea about this book, because Miss Martha seems to be removed That's why she's like, her house is kind of secluded away from everything and everyone. Nova even said she had a hard time finding the place. So I don't think that Miss Martha read Nova's book. I highly doubt it. But she was just embracing her, like loving on her and being so positive and telling her things about her mom. And Nova needed that. She definitely needed that. And it seems that there's a lot of things that Nova doesn't know. And it makes sense. This is why with certain things Aunt Vi is like really going through, because like I said before, Aunt Vi knows a lot. You know, she's the matriarch of the family now, and she knows a lot, and for whatever reason she's keeping things hidden, but it's all going to come out, it's all going to come out. So Miss Martha, talks about Trudy, which is Nova and Ralph Angel's mom. And she also tells her during conversation, I don't remember exactly what started this part of the conversation, Miss Martha says that Ernest buried Trudy, which is Ralph Angel and Nova's mom. To which Nova says, I thought she was cremated. Miss Martha says, cremated? Oh no, she wanted Ernest to bury her on the cane field, the borderline property. So basically the night that Nova thought she saw, well, she assumed that the father buried one of the white men that he had beef with because of what happened at their fishing trip. Remember, she put that excerpt in her book. So she kind of indirectly made it seem like, her father buried, one of these white men that he had fought. And then Prosper, in the last episode, Prosper wanted to talk to Nova about her book and say, hey, what you thought you saw, you were wrong about. Your daddy didn't kill anyone. What he was burying was his pain. He buried the bloody clothes that he had on and baseball bat and so on and so forth. Now I like Mr. Prosper, right? We like Uncle Prosper. But when he said that, I said, okay, he would know because he was Ernest's best friend. But then looking back, that didn't look, the shape of what was buried did not look like clothes and things. And remember, Charley had a meeting with Ralph Angel and Aunt Vi and asked, like, what is this about? You know what I mean? And she even said, all I know is after that night, we didn't have trouble out of them men anymore. I believe that Aunt Vi knows the truth. That's why she got all frantic, and that's why she's so annoyed and ticked off that Nova's telling all this business and stuff like that. Now, here's the thing, Royal Family. Let me know what you think. Do you believe Mr. Prosper about what he said regarding Ernest and what Ernest was burying? Or do you believe Miss Martha? Okay, get down in the comments. We always discuss this. So basically, according to Miss Martha, Mama Trudy is buried on the fields, on their family property. Interesting. Which one do you believe? Comment and let me know, y'all. So Aunt Vi in Hollywood. So Vi sits Hollywood down and she decides to come clean about Jimmy Dale, things that she's been feeling, things that she's been going through. She told Hollywood that day that he, put a whooping on Jimmy Dale, she stated that she saw something in his eyes. She's never seen him like that. He got violent. Now, Hollywood protecting his wife, nothing wrong with that. But to a woman who has been a victim of physically abuse, Aunt Vi, that type of anger will always scare her and will bring up or activate that post-traumatic stress. Even though Aunt Vi is very well aware that Hollywood was trying to protect her and he would kill anyone that tries to bring harm to Aunt Vi or any, Ralph Angel, Charley, the family, he's very protective. So because it seems to me, because Hollywood is probably used to dealing with things like that. A man tries to disrespect my wife, I'm gonna put paws and feet on him. Like that's probably that's normal to him. Not thinking that it would trigger fear and emotion in Aunt Vi, considering that she is, she was a victim of domestic abuse. So he basically said to Aunt Vi, I know I scared you, baby. I was just trying to protect you. And Aunt Vi reveals to him. Now, I thought in the preview that when she said, something to tell you this about Jimmy Dale, I thought she was going to reveal like something different, right? But this was important nonetheless. So Vi tells Hollywood, listen, the anger that I seen in your eyes was very reminiscent of Jimmy Dale. You know, the very first time that I seen Jimmy Dale get violent, it was because he was, you know, defending me because a guy was saying something about me, or a guy said he wanted me. And I saw him do the same thing. And then eventually he started being physically and, you know, verbally abusive to Aunt Vi. So Aunt Vi is just scared. She's scared. And I'm glad that she sat Hollywood down and let him know, because at the end of the day, Hollywood just wants her to be okay. And he's a protector. He wants to be Mr. Fix It. And I'm glad that Aunt Vi said, baby, this is nothing for you to fix. I got to fix this myself. So I think that the communication is getting better between the two of them. Aunt Vi is really, once she got over the initial shock of the book and seeing Jimmy Dale and all of these emotions, I think that she is working through this, and she's taking the right steps to keep Hollywood informed as to what she's feeling, how she's feeling, why she's feeling it. So I thought that conversation was extremely important. Very, 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 very important. Good job, Aunt Vi. You know, you're doing good. So Darla and Ra. So Darla is upset that Ralph Angel didn't let her know that Disha is, see, I just found out Disha's name. Now I don't remember her daughter's name. So I know one of you will let me know, and I appreciate y'all, real family. What is Blue's new best friend, aka Disha's little girl's name? So Darla feels left out. You know, she knows that little, you know, she knows who Blue's best friend is, the little girl. But she was not aware that was Disha's daughter, or Disha was Blue's best friend's mama, you know? So she's like taken aback, and she just said to Ralph Angel, like, you don't think that I should know that Disha is my son's best friend? Like, why wouldn't you tell me that? And Ralph Angel told her, look, you told me that you didn't want to discuss these type of things. So I didn't, you know, it's not a big deal. And she just feels left out, you know, because she did see Ralph Angel and Disha on the porch talking and things like that, and she could tell that there was something between them, even though she's helping him with his case with the board for his re-entry program. Darla's not stupid, you know. She knows that there's emotions there. She knows that there's something there. So yeah, so she's feeling some type of way. I think that was a blow to the gut for her, and it's kind of like reality is setting in that Ralph Angel really likes her, and then their kids are intertwined. So even if a relationship doesn't blossom, like a long-term relationship doesn't blossom with Disha and Ralph Angel, there will be some sort of relationship there, because the two children are best friends. Blue and Disha's daughter are best friends. So that poses a threat to Darla. You know what I mean? Not intentionally as far as Ralph Angel is concerned, but she feels threatened, you know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, you know, I'm so used to Ralph Angel being there for me, like, you know, she's a little scared. Now I know Darla has her own boyfriend, but obviously we can see that he's nice and all, but he's not Ralph Angel. The feelings that she has for Ralph Angel, she is not allowing herself to have for any other man. Ooh. Okay, breakdown. Let's keep moving, y'all. So Micah and Kiki. So remember now, Charley is at the bar. She's been at the bar all day. No one knows where she is. So Micah is home by himself. Kiki comes to pay him a visit. She wants to discuss a little bit further about Micah being her first. They had a conversation after the mill got burned down. You know, she was worried about him. And they had a conversation in the car on the previous episode that she was looking forward to going to her prom with him and what's going to happen after prom. Okay? So they were talking, and I thought that this was really good. Everything about the show was good. Like, I'm going to say that for every scene. I love this show. Like, I love the mature route that's being taken as far, and real as well, as far as, you know, young adults, or what is Micah? Micah's in high school, right? Well, teens, you know, having those urges and those feelings and in a relationship and thinking about having sex. And Micah is very cautious. He loves Kiki and he would love to. She's not his first, but he would be her first. And she just wants to make sure, she's a level-headed girl. She wants to make sure she's doing the right thing. She loves him. She cares about him. He just tells her, like, I don't want you to feel pressured, you know, like exams are coming up. This is going on. You know what I mean? Like prom is coming up. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming up. Like, you don't have to rush this. Like, I love you. I care about you. And she just says that basically just kind of made her want to do it even the more. But Micah he's just very cautious, you know, and I appreciate that. And she did ask him, hey, where's your mom? You know, like he says, I don't know, at the mill or something like that. And Charley calls in the middle of their little rendezvous, and she's drunk. And she asks Micah how was school and if he's okay. And he says, you know, Mom, are you all right? She's like, yeah, you know, I'm fine. You know, I'm good. He has no idea that she's drunk. So, yeah, Charley is just going through, honey. She's going through the motions. So, Ra and Hollywood. So, Hollywood shows up at Ra's house. Ra is just there kicking back, you know, a beer. And he's just asking, Hollywood's asking Ra, you know, how he's doing. And he tells, because remember, Hollywood went away because Aunt Vi needed to kind of clear her head. So even when the diner was vandalized, Hollywood wasn't there. So he wasn't, he's not privy to what's going on with Ralph Angel's reentry program and all this other stuff. So, you know, like I said, Hollywood asked him, like, you know, how's everything going? So he just told him that he had to fire, Ra had to fire some of his employees. I don't even know how many employees he's down to. Probably none at this point because he can't afford to pay the employees. The mill done burned down, so he doesn't have any money, you know, extra money to pay the workers. So he's just telling Hollywood, like, he's going through a whole bunch of stuff. You know, he still has to, grow and till to his land or tend to his land. And he has to kind of do it basically by himself, maybe with the help of one or two other people. So Hollywood's just like, dang, man, like, you know, I'm sorry to hear that. And Ra's just like, I don't know what's going on. And Hollywood just said to him, like, you know, it's a lot going on. You know, you're under review, your program shut down, you know, you got a new relationship. That's what it is. That's what's on your mind. So Hollywood invited Ra over to hang out with hang out with the boys and play cards and stuff. Ralph Angel said, look, I'm 10 steps ahead of you. I'm already a step ahead of you. He's already, you know, drinking. So he kind of declined the offer to hang out. He probably just wants to be by himself and he has his land to work on. So Hollywood understood and he just told him, like, you know, I'm here for you. Keep your head up or whatnot. And Hollywood leaves. Now, in that moment, even before Hollywood decided to say what he said to Aunt Vi later on in the diner, I said to myself, dang, you know, Hollywood needed somebody to talk to. And maybe in that moment, I don't think he felt any type of way about it, but he didn't know what Ralph Angel was going through. So he just tried to encourage him the best way he could, even though he was going through stuff. Like sometimes people will be going through like their own like hurricane, and they will put that aside to be able to offer somebody else like words of wisdom or words of encouragement, you know, and that's love. Like when you yourself is going through something, and you know someone that you love and care about is going through something, and you just basically like try to do the best that you can to encourage them. That's what Hollywood did, and you know he loves Ralph Angel. You know, that's his little nephew, you know. And in that moment, though, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I thought that he went to go check on Ra, yeah, because he always checks on him, sees how he's doing. And maybe he went to kind of get a little bit of feedback from him regarding what Aunt Vi had just told him about her feelings towards, you know, how she looked at him when he became violent. So yeah, I thought that at the moment, you know what I mean? I definitely did. So Hollywood now is hanging out with his boys, two of his friends, they're playing cards and things like that. And then they're like, you know, I heard you put a beating on Aunt Vi's ex, you know, beat him so bad, yada, yada. And, you know, Hollywood's looking like, how did you hear that? You know, it's a small town, so obviously word travels fast. So they're basically giving him his props, you know what I mean? Telling him, look, if it was my woman, I would have put a hurting on that man too. You know what I mean? I'm going to protect my woman, you know? And they're giving him his props, like I said, and Hollywood is a little uncomfortable. It seems to me that had Aunt Vi not have that conversation with Hollywood, he probably would have joined in on the conversation or the energy with his friends, because obviously they're his friends. So I'm pretty sure they're like-minded individuals. So I think it just made him a little uncomfortable, to which he said, no, so-and-so, I could have probably handled it a little bit different. And they're like, shoot, how did it, it would have been me. You did the right thing, big props to you. So even though they were giving him his props, Hollywood was just, what Aunt Vi said to him still sat on his heart. So he wasn't receiving, what it is that his friends said. So he didn't join in. He feels bad, and he didn't join in on these shenanigans. Now, Lord, Darla and her boyfriend, I don't even know his name either. I don't even care. You can put it in the comments, but it doesn't matter. So Darla trying to pick herself up because she's had a couple of emotional blows. Last episode, the episode prior to that, and this previous episode. So she makes her man a snack, a sandwich, or what have you, and visits him at his music session, to which he didn't expect her. She didn't call, and he's obviously been feeling some type of way, and he chose now to express to her how he feels. He tells her, basically, he read the book, he read Nova's book. He is not judging her, and he doesn't care about her past. His concern is he himself is a recovering addict, and he's relapsed several times, and he knows the signs of someone on the verge of relapsing. He did tell her 2 episodes or so ago that she needs to call her sponsor when they met up at like a little coffee shop, because she was venting to him about, her coworkers finding out about the book. And he said to her, I think you should call your sponsor, to which she kind of snapped on him and said, I'm not weak, I'm just upset. And she got very defensive. So he's telling her, like, look, I know the signs of a relapse, and I'm not judging you for what happened. You understand what I'm trying to say? How could he, but he feels like she is going to relapse. And reason being is because he read the book, and there's a lot of things in the book that has been revealed about her past. I'm pretty sure him being a recovering addict and going to meetings, he's probably done heard it all, done seen it all, but he has a good point when he says, this information is being, like, everybody's reading this book, so everybody knows about you, everybody knows who you are, even though she used a different name, and you haven't called your sponsor in weeks. You are still in recovery. How are you going to handle this? He doesn't think that she is strong enough to not relapse, considering the circumstances. And do I think he's right? Yes, I think he's absolutely right. And she knows that. So he said to her, for the sake of his sobriety, he thinks that they should kind of dial it back. And, he told her that he has to get back to practicing for whatever music show or whatever it is that he has. And, she just feels like, you could have told me this instead of stringing me along. And instead of ghosting, that's the word. Instead of ghosting me, and, he said I wasn't ghosting you. He probably needed time to sit with this and stuff like that. But I commend him for being honest. And Darla, when he told you that you need to call your sponsor, not in this recent episode, but couple of episodes back, you really got defensive, and you just said, I'm not weak, I'm just upset. Because he said he relapsed several times, so he knows what he's looking at. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, of course, Darla hurt. She goes home, or wherever it is that she goes, she leaves. You see Nova and Charley. Nova goes to the bar to basically pick up Charley's drunk behind. Micah, contacted Nova. He's concerned. He hasn't been able to get in contact with her. Prosper tried calling her all day. She hadn't been to the diner. So he tracked her location, and I guess he let Aunt Nova know, hey, can you go check on my mom? And she gets to the bar, and she lets Charley know, hey, Micah asked me to check on you, because Charley's just like, what are you doing here? She's still not feeling her sister. She's going through all types of problems, and the last person that she wants to see is Nova, her backstabbing sister, so So she gets her out of there. She pays the tab and she gets her out of there. So she didn't try to fight her. She did a little bit, but not too bad where it caused a scene. So you see them getting out of there. Now Hollywood visits Aunt Vi, right? And he tells her that, you know, he basically says to her, you know, I find having the most interesting conversations or meaningful conversations I have was when I'm having them with you, you know, and he told her that the boys were over and, you know, all they talk about is pretty much the same thing. And he took heed to what she was saying about, you know, his violent side and things like that. And he told her, you know, that's just how he expresses himself. And he says, you know, he didn't even know how to console or communicate with Ralph Angel when he was telling him everything that he was going through. So he just decides, he pulls out a piece of paper. I'm assuming it's like a plan that he wants to start a men's support group, because it's like, we need to learn how to communicate. And I feel, listen, I just hope they don't write something that will do like a 180 as far as Hollywood's character's concerned, because I'll be heartbroken. Like, in my head, he's my uncle, you know? And I thought that was so great. You know, shedding light on men being able to communicate and men being able to use their words to communicate and express their emotions, as opposed to using violence, you know, or just violence. You know, he's a grown man, so there should be other ways for them to be able to express themselves. So he wants to start a men's support group. Like, isn't Hollywood just perfect? So the next scene, we see Darla, Ra, and Blue. So Blue is getting ready to go to bed, and Ra calls Darla saying, hey, you know, I've been trying to get in contact with you. Just want to check on you. Want to make sure that you're all right. So she ends up talking to Blue, and you can tell she was crying. She was going through it. Oh, she said she was out. So that could have been when she went to the guy that she was dating. And, you know, that's what she could have been. But anyway, so Blue's like, Mommy, we called you 100 times. And, you know, she asked him about school. He's like, school was all right, but recess was the best. You know, him and Disha's daughter, remember, put the name in the comments. I don't remember the little girl's name. We were playing like we were astronauts, and we had so much fun. And, you know, Miss Disha made us cupcakes with like space names or planets or whatever on it. And he's just talking, and he's just having the time. You know, he's so excited to let his mom know. And then he says to her, I wish you were there. Talking about adding insult to injury. Adding insult to injury. I got it. She's trying to keep it together while her baby boy is talking about his best friend and his best friend's mother, who her ex seems to be in a relationship with. And it's like, first you find out who Disha is, then you and your man break up, and now your kid is just even the more smitten by his best friend's mother. It's like, dang, you know? And I just feel like, Darla, you need to call your sponsor. Like, I just don't you know what? I don't understand. So let me not even make it seem as though it's that simple. I've never been like an addict or like in a 12-step program. So I have no idea. Well, this is her character. You know, I take these people serious. But I have no idea what that's like. I have no idea what that's like. But I'm curious to know why Darla is not calling her sponsor. Like, is she really afraid that it's going to make her look weak? You know, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, do you know anybody who's dealt with like any sort of substance abuse and went through like a 12-step program and maybe not call their sponsor because they don't want to? Like, why do you guys think that she's so like, you know, not wanting to call a sponsor? Maybe she wants to just do it all on her own. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but sweetie, there's a lot going on. Like, this book is affecting your personal and professional life, and I don't know. Maybe she just wants Ralph Angel to be there for her because she's so used to him being there for her. I don't know, but that scene was so sad, especially when Blue was just talking and he didn't even realize that, you know, his happiness was hurting his mother, right? Isn't that crazy? This is such good writing. Anyway, Nova and Charley. So remember, Nova went to go pick Charley up from the bar, and They're at the house now, so Charlie's all drunk. So Nova's changing her clothes and making sure she gets into her bed. And there was a scene where Nova was trying to rub her hand while she's like, I'm gonna be in the guest room until in the morning. And you see Charlie like kind of passed out on the bed, and she just like kind of snatches her hand away, because it's like, all right, I know you my sister, you helped me, but I still ain't got nothing for you. And as Nova understands, and as Nova was going to walk away, Charlie says to her, what did she say? Is that what you really think of me? Or why did you write those things in the book? Or whatever it is that she said. I know you guys will correct me. And, Nova just says like, I didn't mean to hurt you. I thought that I was helping. She just admitted, she apologized and she admitted. And then you see Charlie just cry. Like, she breaks down and cries. And it's a culmination of everything that she's going through. Like everything that she went through in LA, everything that she went through when she first came, back to her home. Well, no, I don't know if she was raised there, but back to Louisiana. Everything that just happened, everything's happening now. Her mill is gone. The relationship with her sister is severed. She feels betrayed by her sister. Her son is growing up, you know what I mean? And he's about to go on about his business in due time. Like, it's just everything. And it's like she kind of hit rock bottom in a sense, emotionally. And she just cried and cried. And I'm glad she got all of that out. And Nova, just being the loving, compassionate person she is, regardless of what you say about her, Nova is very loving and compassionate. Even though it doesn't always appear that way as far as the compassionate part. But she just laid there and held her sister, and she sobbed. And I think that's one of the best things that she could have done. Nothing needs to be said. You already know what it is. You know why she's upset. You know what she's going through. Just hold her and be there for your sister, And so that scene was extremely, extremely powerful. So Micah gets Charlie to, the next scene you see Charlie waking up, I guess from the next morning. Charlie's woke up. And she sees that breakfast is prepared and made for her on the counter. And there's a newspaper folded, to which Charlie picks up and she reads. And Nova decided to try to right her wrongs, publicly. And she wrote in the article, that her book hurt a lot of people. And I don't remember what else she said. I just thought it was a beautiful gesture, but I'm doing my best here to remember. She said she knows that her book hurt a lot of people, and I guess she thought she was telling her truth. And one of the people that it hurt, that she loved the most, was her sister, and she admitted that she learned about her sister, that her sister is like, very strong, loving. She will give you the shirt off of her back. And she also goes into saying that's why Charlie would make a great councilwoman. So kind of like a campaign endorsement and an apology and an acknowledgement of what she did and trying to right her wrong, all wrapped up in one. I mean, is that good enough? Like, because I know a lot of you are ticked off with Nova, and a lot of you are not feeling Nova. And I read the comments. You guys are not here for Nova, But let me ask y'all, is this, as it pertains to Charlie anyway, is it all good now? You know what I mean? Like, is it, I mean, of course there's going to be work that needs to be done between the two of them, but is it good? Like, is this okay with the steps that she's taking as far as, trying to right her wrong with Charlie? Is that enough? That's what I'm trying to ask. Is that enough, or does Nova need to do more? Listen, I thought it was a great, beautiful gesture. I thought it was smart, considering that her sister is running for office. Like, come on. Like, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Like, is that enough? Does she need to do more? Should Charlie trust her? Do you think it's going to harm Charlie's campaign? I mean, she did take it out in the paper, so people are going to read this. So let me know what you guys think. So, oh, Darla, Lord. But before that, Micah calls, goes in and says, hey, Mom, I need you to come to the mill with me for a second. She's like, reluctant. So he takes his mother to the mill. She's like, what are you doing here? And everyone is there. Prosper is there, Aunt Vi is there, Hollywood is there. Some of the I think those are farmers too. Remember when she had that meeting in Aunt Vi's diner after the mill burned down, and they were like, no, we don't have time, we got the, I think those are the workers, if I'm not mistaken, or I don't know, whoever they are. They were at one point out after the fire happened, but everybody came together, and Prosper was just telling Charley, Ralph Angel, and Nova, which is good to see Nova there, that they're all going to work together, they're all going to stick together as a community, and they're singing, they're just basically fellowshipping and supporting one another and having a celebration. And great timing, because Charley needed that to lift her spirits. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I am so ready for Charley to come back with a vengeance. I'm telling you, man. It's like you get knocked down 7 times, get back up 8. And every time Charley's been knocked down, she's a worthy opponent of anyone. She could stand up against anyone. And just when you think that she's losing, she's very witty and she's very smart. She's kind of got a street savvy and also a book smart savvy about her. You know what I mean? And plus she's very determined. I'm looking forward to this comeback. The big payback. I'm looking forward to it. And the most emotional part, one of the most emotional parts of this episode was Darla. You see Darla fighting the urge to relapse. So she's crying and she's sitting in front of a bottle of alcohol in her house. I'm assuming that's her house. And she's just looking at it. She takes it out of it's a very dramatic scene. She takes it out of the brown paper bag and she opens it and she feels the bottle and she smells it. And I thought she was going to take a drink, but of course, Ava DuVernay has to give us a cliffhanger. So she doesn't take a drink from it, but you see her crying and fighting the urge. And it is, I think, a metaphor. Yes, of course, it's because of the pain and things like that. She has a likelihood of relapsing. That's why the guy said, you need to call your sponsor. But I think it was a desperate attempt to default to what she knows to numb her pain. And that dramatic scene, I was nervous. I was on the edge of my seat like, oh my God, no, Darla, no, Darla, no, Darla, no, And you just see her crying. It's like she wants to be able to fight this and get through this herself. Not that she doesn't need anyone, but I guess she needs to feel like she doesn't want to be dependent on anyone, even though emotionally, it seems that she's dependent on Ralph Angel. But like I said, she defaulted to what she knows to numb the pain. And it's like, I know in the next episode, we see a scene where she actually goes to a bar. And then you can hear Aunt Vi saying, Ralph Angel, I think you need to come by Darla's house or what have you. Or I had a conversation with someone and they like to play devil's advocate. And they said, what if Darla is doing this on purpose to get Ralph Angel's attention? I said to myself, you know what? That might not be false. Royal family, what do you think? Because remember now, she done seen him with Deisha. Now she knows who Deisha is. She heard her son is in love with Deisha and his best friend. He's so happy. She's good to Ralph Angel. She's not, she would never put Blue in any danger. Maybe Darla feels that Deisha is just perfect and she's a better mother than her. Or if Ralph Angel decides to move on with her, she would be a better mother than her. That Deisha would be a better mother than Darla. But yes, when one of my homies said this, I said, dang, that is not a bad assumption. What if Darla is doing this to try to just keep Ralph Angel's attention? Because they care about each other. That's obvious. They really love and respect each other. And if he's always, looking out for Darla, I guess, and if she relapses or if she gets drunk and gets herself in trouble, she can call on him and he'll be there. Maybe that'll intercept, or sever the relationship with Disha. So is Darla being a conniving blankety blank, which is what my homie said. He said, nah, she's being conniving. She know what she doing. She knows exactly what she doing. So Royal Family, let me know what you think. I look forward to getting down with y'all in the comments. So be sure to comment respectfully as always. Like this video if you like it. Be sure to check out my other content. But I will meet you down in the comment section. Okay, until next time. Peace.